University Campus Thatta. My co-author is Saharun Bakari, who is Assistant Professor at Sindh University Campus Thatta. My paper title is Impact of Managerial Trustworthy Behavior on Employee Engagement, Mediating Role of Perceived Insider Status. So here is our outlines, which we have to discuss in our PPT. First of all, we have introduction. In the organization, having a trustworthy manager is such a blessing for employee because it reflects a strong connection between manager and employees. So we define trust. Trust is really important to build a strong relationship with managers. Managers who work with integrity and kindness may give rise to the perception of justice and can help employees to cope with difficulties and challenges in the time of the organizational lives. So there is a problem identification. This research filled the gap by testing the impact of managerial trustworthy behavior on the engagement of employee in the organizational settings. Some researchers suggest that leader competencies and characteristics have a positive impact on the performance. We have research objectives and research questions. Our research objectives are, there are 4 research objectives in our study and 4 research questions. First of all, we have to discuss our research objectives. First objective is to investigate the relationship between manager trustworthy behavior and employee engagement. And the second is to investigate the relation between managerial trustworthy behavior and perceived insider status. And our third objective is to investigate the relationship between employee engagement and perceived insider status. And our fourth and last objective is to investigate the relationship among all the 3 variables in this study, that how they are relating with each other. And further, we will discuss our research question at the next slide. Now we have literature review and hypothesis development. We have defined our every variable, study variable. Our very first variable is managerial trustworthy behavior, which is the independent variable of our study, defined by Whitener in 1998. Whitener defined managerial trustworthy behavior is a voluntational action and interaction performed by a manager that are necessary or not sufficient to engender employee trust in them. So our second variable is employee. The definition was given by Ken 1990. Personal engagement to indicate individual psychological state where they utilize their personal resources and invest their positive energy such as cognitive, physical, emotional energy to bring different at the workplaces. So our last variable is perceived insider status, which is our mediating variable. This definition basically was given by Stamper and Masterson in 2002. Perceived insider status can be well defined as a degree at which individual of an organization perceive him or herself as the part of their working organization. So now we have a theory which we have used in our research, social exchange theory, which was given by Blow in 1964. The social exchange theory is the process of exchange between manager and employees. Basically, social exchange theory occurs at 3 stages. When employees engage at their workplaces, they have 3 stages. First, he or she has to maintain relationship with their co-workers and colleagues. And second, he or she has to maintain relationship with their supervisor and managers. And the third and the last stage is they have to maintain relationship with their working organizations. So here is our hypothesis. Out of them, there are 4 hypotheses in our study. Out of them, 3 are direct hypothesis and 1 is indirect, yani mediator hypothesis. So our first hypothesis is managerial trustworthy behavior is positively and significantly related to employee engagement. The reference which is given below is the latest study who also tested managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement, and they have also got the positive and significant relationship among them. So our second hypothesis is managerial trustworthy behavior is positively and significantly related to perceived insider status. So there is also a reference which is a latest study of managerial trustworthy behavior and perceived insider status. They have also got the positive and significant relationship among these variables. Our third hypothesis is perceived insider status and is positively and significantly related to employee engagement. And our fourth hypothesis, which is indirect hypothesis, is perceived insider status mediating positive and significant relationship among managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement. So this is our theoretical framework which we have developed in our study. Our very first variable is managerial trustworthy behavior, which is an independent variable of our study. So our second variable is employee engagement, which is the dependent variable of our study. And our third variable is perceived insider status is mediating the role between managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement. Now we have research methodology and design. We have designed our research through detective approach, and we have used the strategy which is survey methodology, and it is basically a quantitative research, and we have used the time horizon of cross-sectional, and we have collected our data for individual basis. There is a measurements. Basically, there was 26 items in our study. First is first 11 items are of managerial trustworthy behavior, and the second is employee engagement, which have 6 items, and the third is 9 items which have perceived insider status. The differences which are given beside there are the authors which we adopt their skills in our study, and also take permission from these authors, and they give us authority to use this skill. So now we have population and sampling. Population, we have collected our population from permanent employees and manager working in different organizations, and our survey technique is convenient sampling techniques. Our sample size is 205. Inclusive criteria is we have collected our survey from people who are working in any organization as an employee under any supervisor, and the data is collected by the both gender, male and females. And we have analyzed our data into 2 software, which is SPSS and Smart PLS. So data analysis and results. This is our demographical profile. Out of them, there are a number of men are huge because in Thatta and other districts of Thatta, there are so many restrictions on women, and they are not involved in any kind of they are less involved in any kind of job areas. That's why we have the rating, we have a higher rating at males, and we have higher employee rate in our job positioning section. So now we have structure equational modeling. We have 2 steps in our structure equational modeling, which we have analyzed from Smart PLS. One is measurement model analyze, and second is structure model analyze. So measurement model analyze, we have calculated our reliabilities and validities. This is our measurement model which we have generated from Smart PLS. And these are our outer loadings of each item of our study, and these outer loadings are above 0.5, which is acceptable, and our composed reliability are also greater than 0.07. So these are also accepted by our software, and our average variance extract is also greater than 0.5. And now we have discriminant validity. There are 2 discriminant validity which we have calculated from Smart PLS. First is given by Fernald and Likert. The value that are bold in the table of Fernald and Likert discriminant validity are the square root of average variant extract, and are less and should be, these values should be less than the correlation values. And at the end, we have HTMT approach, which is known as heterotrait and monotrait ratio. These ratios should be less than 0.85, and as they less than 0.85 show the great discriminant validity. If it overlaps to 0.85, then there will be a poor discriminant validity. So now we have a structure model analysis. Basically, there are 6 steps in structure model analysis given by Harris in 2017, but we have adopted only 2 steps in our study. We will further learn these steps in our further study. So this is the inner model of our study. Step first, variance influence factor was checked to assess the collinearity of each item. Results of variance extract should be less than 5. So now we have the results of our hypothesis. Our very first hypothesis is MTB and EE, employee engagement. So our all the values are being accepted by the software, and our confidence interval is also between 0. It should not overlap the zero value. So our significant yani p value is also less than 0.05. So this our first hypothesis is being accepted. Our second hypothesis is MTB and PIS. The all values are being accepted, and also our confidence interval is between 0, and our significant value is also less than 0.05. And our third hypothesis is perceived insider status and employee engagement. Our all values are good, and our confidence interval is also between 0, and our significant is also less than 0.05. So our last hypothesis is perceived insider status mediating role between managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement. Our all values are good, and our confidence interval is also between 0. It is not overlapping the 0 value, and our significant is also less than 0.05. So our fourth hypothesis is also being accepted by the software. So summary of hypothesis, we have research question. We have totally 4 research question in our study. Our first research question is there any relationship between managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement? So now we can answer this question. Yes, there is a positive and significant relationship between managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement. So our second question is there any relationship between managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement? So now we can answer this question also. Yes, there is a positive and significant relationship among them. Our third research question is there any relationship between perceived insider status and employee engagement? So yes, there is also a positive and significant relationship among them. And our fourth question is there any relationship of perceived insider status among managerial trustworthy behavior and employee engagement? So we can answer this question also. Yes, there is a positive and significant relationship of perceived insider status. So now we have a discussion section. So finding of this study is managerial trustworthy behavior increase employee feeling of being part of inner group to the leader and organization. This perception of insider status enhance employee engagement. Moreover, this study is finding is supported by social exchange theory, which we have used in our study, which informed that individual reciprocate behavior that they experience from the leader or managers. Managerial trustworthy behavior have credibly and integradably with the reciprocated by the employee positive feelings such as perceived insider status and engagement. Now we have future recommendation and some limitations of our study. In future, we recommended that the sample size should be increased in future, and the measurement or measure the employee trustworthy behavior from the managerial side also, and study should be in the longitudinal study way. We have practical implementation. More manager of Pakistan organization will benefit from this study and should adopt behavior that enhance their trustworthiness. Now we have conclusion. The result of this study is based on survey questionnaires, which was voluntarily filled by the employees of different organizations. The results show that employee engagement, managerial trustworthy behavior have the positive and significant relationship between with employee engagement. And all our 4 hypotheses have been accepted in this study. And now we have references which are related with our study. And this is the certificate, permission certificate from the author, Ms. Dr. Marisa, who gave us permission to use her scale of employee engagement. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Thank you, Ms. Maruk, and wonderful. I really appreciate you, as you are just a student of BB Honors, but you got such a confidence of conducting this wonderful and sophisticated research study and presented your findings in this international research conference. I highly appreciate you for your confidence and efforts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
So,
much.
do we have any person in the audience who wants to ask any question or have a suggestion for Ms. Maru?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Is there any question, please? If there is no question, I think we would like to close this session. Yes, Dr. Wahid, Dr. Imran Shah,
Yes,
would you please?
Dr. Mohammad Imran Rashid Saab,
Yes.
I'm really grateful that you spared time out of your really busy schedule.
Thank you,
So
Dr. Saab. It was a
the
wonderful
session
research
went
conference. I really enjoyed the
really
papers presented in this
wonderful.
session.
Yeah. So on behalf of Ilma University and our department, I really appreciate your efforts and time being engaged with us.